Interesting. But at this moment, Siddharth, have you been able to get any indications? Because these smaller parties, even if they are lending support, it is not just going to be a support in principle. They would expect things in return. They would expect some cabinet seats. Are these compromises that Vijay is actually willing to make?
So as for Vijay, he is willing. So even right from the campaign phase, Vijay has been agreeing that he will share power with partners, whichever are his allies. But the problem is Vijay did not have allies when he contested the polls. It's only post-poll that such a scenario has emerged. Saleh.
Right. And you mentioned that many of these smaller parties who are lending their support to Vijay have not broken off their formal alliance with the DMK. So are we looking at a situation where the government that is now being run by Vijay could be remote controlled by the DMK?
That's something that Joseph Vijay, as first-time Chief Minister, would dread, because the mandate he's got clearly shows that the people wanted to, send away the two big established parties and give Vijay good numbers. Unfortunately, he's stuck at 108, so it's a case of so near yet so far. And to bridge this gap, he needs the smaller parties. But yes, that is a dreadful scenario for Vijay, because he's been opposing the DMK for so long. And eventually, when he's forming the government, he's having to tap into DMK's allies. Only the Congress formally broke away, and it was a nasty sort of breakaway from the DMK. And there's been public statements where, DMK has called, some spokespersons have called the Congress a backstabber and so on. So an alliance of decades breaking like that, it's only happened with the Congress. The rest of them continue to remain in the larger alliance with the DMK. They've not made any commitments about quitting. So yes, that's a dreadful scenario for Vijay to be at the mercy of the DMK, which he's gone hammer and tongs against. A Chief Minister like M.K. Stalin, when he was there, Vijay, went hammer and tongs and made personal attacks against Stalin as well and Stalin's family. And now to have, smaller parties on whose support his government is riding on, to have them take orders from the DMK would be a dreadful scenario, not just for Vijay, but for Tamil Nadu as a whole. Because think of this as a state that is an economic powerhouse. So having an unstable government would also mean, investors might think twice. It would mean so many other things. The ramifications are huge.
The ramifications are indeed huge. Siddharth, do continue to stay on with this. Let's in fact go full frame on these images that are coming from Chennai, where the supporters of Vijay's party TVK, they believe that they have the numbers and Vijay will be invited to form the government. These are celebrations by the supporters of Vijay who think that their leader is going to be the chief minister. But a lot now, remember, hinges on what the governor will do, because it's going to be interesting. What is the extent of support? The Vijay, who's got the single largest party in the Tamil Nadu legislature, how many signatures has he got from these smaller allies pledging their support? Because the governor had made it clear that he will not swear in a minority government and would ask it to come and prove its support later. He wanted Vijay to have 118 MLAs supporting him before he could be sworn in as the chief minister. This is the third time that actor Vijay is, of course, meeting with the governor. These are the scenes of Vijay there going into the governor's residence. We'll, of course, get to know as to what is the outcome of this meeting. What will the governor, of course, say is going to be very interesting to see. All right, now these are the latest scenes that are emerging at this moment. Actor Vijay meeting with the governor, and we believe that he has given the list of the MLAs who are supporting him, staking claim to form the next government. These are live images that are being beamed as actor Vijay is meeting with the governor. The governor will, of course, go through the list of MLAs who are said to be supporting Vijay with a very, very fine lens. And this is the image that's being put out of actor Vijay meeting with Tamil Nadu's Governor Rajendra Arlekar at the Lok Bhavan in Chennai. And my colleague Siddharth MP is still with us from Chennai. Siddharth, we are seeing these images. Let's in fact stay on those images of Vijay meeting with the governor and giving him the list one believes of the MLAs that are supporting him. It does appear that Vijay has the numbers and possibly the signatures of the MLAs who are backing him. Siddharth, what are we to read into this?
Third time lucky could it be for Vijay? That's the big question now, because over the last couple of days he's been visiting the governor's residence, and every time the outcome has been not what Vijay was hoping for. So yesterday the outcome was very different, and today perhaps this would be the final one, is what the widespread expectation is. Otherwise, this thing could drag on even further, and more uncertainty doesn't augur well for a state, because this is a state that's had a stable government for ages, and now to have this kind of instability doesn't augur well for various factors. For example, there is also this apprehension because the left parties and VCK have had a very different outlook towards certain developmental projects in the state. While the DMK government was pro-industry and pro-projects such as new airports and so on, the perspectives of these left parties on certain aspects need to be watched very closely. How would that affect the industrial climate in the state? Because there's been disputes involving big business houses and some labor issues. And the left parties took a certainly different stance, whereas the DMK government took a different stance. So they had opposition. But the fact is, the left did not play any role in the DMK government. They were merely an ally. There was no power sharing. But how would Vijay deal with that is another question. So there are many unknowns here, and we'll have to wait if Vijay's got all the numbers, whether he's cobbled up all the numbers. Another factor that we need to consider is the Indian Union Muslim League. This is a party which until a few hours ago had been saying that they will stick with the DMK. They're not going to change because it's a long-term alliance. They say that it's an ideological alliance. It's about brotherhood and so on. But now we'll have to wait and see if this party by any chance has a last-minute change of heart. Are they going to go with Vijay? In that case, then Vijay could get as close as possible to 120, which is far better than 118, which is literally on thin ice. So that is also some other outcome that we'll have to wait and watch.
Right.
Then we are yet to hear from the VCK what is their final outcome. And yeah, Saleh, so
Siddharth,
a couple of things are uncertain at this point.
The image we have on our screens, the image we have on our screens is of the TVK chief Vijay meeting with the governor, felicitating him with a shawl and also giving him a sheaf of papers, one assumes, of the list of MLAs who are backing him. Vijay, it appears, believes that he has the backing of the MLAs that he needs to form the government. The governor, everything now hinges on how the governor, of course, decides to act. He will go through with a very fine comb the list of MLAs that have been presented. If it crosses 118, as the governor had said, he will then invite Vijay to be sworn in as the chief minister and then ask him to prove majority on the floor of the House. Without a majority, the governor had made it clear that he was not going to invite a minority government to be sworn in and then subsequently try and cobble up the numbers. These images, Vijay looks very confident. He believes that he has the numbers, and everything hinges on the man who's being felicitated with a shawl at the moment. For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.